Hi everyone, I'm Arundhati. Welcome to Yarn Stitch Color, and today I'm going to show you one of my favorite joining methods. This is how the method looks like once it is joined. This is the back, and you can choose to join as many squares or pieces that you'd like to join. There is no criteria of how many you can join with this method. You can continue to join to make blankets, carpets, even cardigans or bags, anything. So in this you'll notice this is my color of the square, and you can almost not see the yarn with which I have joined. This is the yarn. It gets hidden quite well. At some places you can, if you look a little harder or closer, but if you take a color that is very close to your square's border color, then it will almost not be seen. It gives a very nice finish. I preferably don't ever do single crochet joins because it looks really bad, but I'm quite in favor of this one. And this stitch is made with, this join is made with a regular tapestry needle. So even if you're not carrying a hook, there is no problem. You have to just join it with your regular tapestry needle. Okay. Another tip that I will want to give is, whenever you want to cut a yarn to join, usually what I do is, whatever the length you want to join it for. For example, I wanted to join from this end to this end. Take 2.5 times the length of this. Whatever you want to join, measure that and multiply it by 2.5 times. Use that length to cut your thread, and that will be good enough. If you're not very sure of and you're just beginning to learn this type of join, you can also take 3 times, but frankly it is not required. You are good with even 2.5 times. Plus, you see little yarn on this side while joining and on this side while finishing. That will also be left out, which you can sew in later or weave it in later. Okay. So while joining, usually you have to follow one direction. So if you're going to join all the squares vertically, finish that. So you join everything like this. Let me just, okay, so I was just trying to zoom out a bit more, but I think this is the best that we can do today. So if you're joining the squares vertically, join all squares vertically first. Okay, so once you finish joining them vertically, then start joining horizontally like this. Okay, whichever direction you pick, please finish all the squares. So for that, once all your squares are made, you have to also plan their placement. Okay, you can just plan their placement, click a picture for reference, and then start joining, because in between joining you might forget the sequence in which you wanted to join them. So it's best to lay down all your squares and take a picture, then begin joining. And at these joints, these places where all the 4 squares meet, look at the finish on the back. That is how it looks on the front. Okay, I will show you how to do that bit too. So let's begin. To join, you can use any needle. This is a regular steel tapestry needle, a plastic needle with a head bent like this. This is good for picking up stitches. It helps to quickly pick stitches. That's a wool needle. with a eye like this. That is also not a problem. If you are using any thick yarn, you can use that needle, and this is just a regular plastic needle, so you can choose to use any needle. To join these squares, I am going to use a cotton yarn. These squares are made of jute, but I chose a cotton because I thought it will be easy to pull through. You can choose to use any yarn that you prefer, but just ensure that it gets through the stitches very easily and is smooth to pull through. To join these squares, all you need to have is the squares need to have this clean finish. You can also choose to do single crochets on the edge, or any stitch in crochet will give you this edge, right? So most stitches will. So that is all we need. Okay. Now let me show you what are the stitches that we are going to actually pick. Here on the corner I have 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets. Okay, these are the 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets. Okay, and all the stitches have this V. Okay, this V. So we are going to insert from here. From here, this is the right side of your project. Okay, so we will insert from here. That is the back loop of the V. I'm going to try to, so we are going to insert through here and take our needle like that. Okay, so we essentially insert through the back loop, from below the back loop, and take it from top of the back loop. Okay, these are the stitches which will remain important for us to join. So in this particular case, when I'm joining a granny square, I'm going to insert, you see this chain 1, I'm going to insert in the back loop of the chain 1 from below and take it like this, take it from top of the next stitch, back loop of the next stitch, pull the yarn. The other square is going to be wrong side here, so it is wrong side to wrong side. Okay, wrong side to wrong side, and the correct side is facing you and then facing the ground. Okay, so pull your yarn but leave a decent tail, because you'll have to weave them in properly later. Then insert, this is the chain 1, this is the chain 1 of the other square, same stitches, see, the back loop, or what can you call this, the inner loop. Okay, let me just insert and show. Inner loop, you go here and you go here. Like this, and pull through. You can hold the squares like this, that's what I do, and it becomes really easy. You're always going to insert from below. Now, I usually had this question while learning this join, and that's why I'm going to clarify it for you. See, we used these 2 stitches, and this is where our yarn is, okay, to join. Now next time when you insert, don't use these 2, use that one which was earlier also used. Use this stitch and this stitch. Okay, so you insert here this stitch. See, this stitch is already having ones, but we are going to insert there, insert under the next one, pull it, and then here also you can see this stitch is already occupied, right? You can see the yarn going like this, it's already occupied, but we will still insert there and in the next one. And pull. So that's the tail, and this is how it starts to look like. After you've made 2 or 3 stitches, pull it tight. It starts to look like this. Pull it tight. Pull the stitch tight and just pull it nice and tight. Nothing will unravel. And you can also not see the thread. The yarn with which we are joining, you can't see it. So you go here, join, and join. See, and pull. Okay, so that is how we will complete the whole joint. Inner loops on this side, inner loops on the other side. Here and here, inner loops, sorry, okay, inner loops, and pull tight. Remember to pull tight every few stitches, because after a while your yarn is going to be too far to pull it in one go. So every 3 or 4 stitches, keep pulling it tight. Okay, so now let me finish joining this and I will meet you when I'm here. Now we are going to join the last 2 stitches. So we began with a chain 1 space, right? So stitch before that and chain 1, pull it through, stitch before that and the chain 1, okay, pull this through. This is how it looks like. Now I'm going to show you how to make that join on this corner. So these are my next 2 squares which I need. Okay, and I'm joining everything vertically right now. So I will be joining this. I'm going to leave these 2 open for the time being, and I will join them later when we are doing horizontal join. So horizontal join I'm not going to show separately because it's the same thing, but let's see in the video further how we feel. But here right now I'm going to join these 2 vertically. Okay, so now for a moment forget about these 2 squares. The yarn is still continued. Okay, it's the same thread and needle. Now I'm going to hold, I want to join them like this, right? So I'm going to hold these 2 with wrong sides together. Okay, and I will begin with the stitch, the chain 1 stitch, the back loop or the inner loop of the chain 1 stitch, inner loop of the next stitch, and on the other side too, inner loop of chain 1, inner loop of the next stitch, and pull. I'm going to do one more before pushing it all back. Okay, now this is how it looks. Now I'm going to pull it like that. Don't worry about these parts, we will join them later. But I just pull them all together. This is how it looks like. Now continue joining in the same way. Okay, so we've finished joining vertically like this. Now we will join them horizontally. Depending on how many squares you are joining, there might be no vertical or horizontal, but direction 1 and direction 2. Alright, so I just want to show you even this joining because of this joint here, the corner or the place where all the 4 ends meet, that joint. Okay, so here you are going to do the same thing that you were currently doing. Insert. Now this is all back to back only, so insert in the 2 stitches, leave a nice tail, insert the back and back. Remember, the first stitch is going to be this chain 1. Okay, insert there and here. Same thing that we were doing till now. Okay, now we are here, just 1 or 2 stitches before the corner. So we will finish making those last 2 stitches. Okay, and here you will continue to simply cross over and make what you were making in the same way. There is no trick. Just ensure that you take all the stitches. So what happens is, essentially on the corner here, your chain 1 gets caught 4 times. Okay, so 2 times, sorry, once while going like this and once while going like this. So then that joint becomes nice and snug, there are no holes there, and it's all nice and tight. So that's all that I wanted to show you. Okay, so here also, that was the chain 1, this is the chain 1 corner, right, which has been caught once. We will again pick it and we will continue making the same thing. Just ensure that you catch that chain 1. See, now it's nice and tight, right? Let me bring it a little like this. So just ensure you catch that chain 1 stitch while going horizontally and vertically, both ways. Okay, direction 1, direction 2, catch it. Alright, so I will continue to join it along this edge. all the 4 squares, and this is how it looks like. Quite invisible, right? And that's the corner or the point where the 4 corners meet. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you use this method of joining, please feel free to comment below and tell me how you liked it. I will be very happy to know. Thank you for watching.